Radiant team ban.
Alright, hello and welcome everyone here to the
Team
Join
ban.
Dota League Americas Season 1 Division 1 tonight's matchup between Team EHUG and Top 5. These do follow a format of best of 2, so think of it
Radiant
as
team
2 best
ban.
of 1s. So we've got an action of 2 games tonight. I'm Helium, and I'm glad to be bringing this game to you tonight, casting Top 5, a team that I do cast quite often over at Sivo, as well
Dire
as
team
EHUG,
ban.
which have signed up for a new season, so I'm going to be casting them more often, but also the last chance I had to cast them was with Pretty Boy Swag, or as they were still Pretty Boy Swag. That was in the Dota 2 Canada Cup Finals, where they, well, unfortunately
10 seconds
for them,
remaining.
lost to Swag Iron Tiger, a new up-and-coming team, also
5
in
seconds
the
remaining.
JDL Americas Season 1. So, yeah, a lot of good action here, but we're already into the bans. We see Top
Reserve
5
time.
taking out the very annoying Bristleback as well as the Visage support, able to fuel that aggression in the early game
Radiant
with a
team
long-range
pick.
nuke. And then on the other side of things, EHUG
Dire
banning out the
team
Elder
pick.
Titan, a hero that is still very strong, but I haven't seen picked or banned too often as of late. They also take out the very powerful Alchemist, Top 5. They scoop themselves up that Timbersaw as their first pick. So likely to be their offlaner, but it doesn't have to be. It could also go mid. Maybe gonna solo safe, but it's a strong pickup regardless. It's very good at stopping any sorts of push, because we do know that I'm a Sheep Sucks loves to play that Enchantress or the
10
Chen, so
seconds,
there's a lot of
10
early push
seconds
potential when you
remaining.
play against EHUG, and of course Cakes himself does love the
5
Timbersaw.
seconds remaining.
So a nice pickup. Not only a good hero, but also denying some of EHUG's common strategies and picks.
Reserve time.
And hopefully the stream is back up soon. My mic turned off at the last second, so I restarted the stream, and hopefully everything is going to be a-okay for this evening. Joining us here, twitch.tv/joindotacommunity. Big shout out to the Capitalist as well as Toby1 getting me set up here casting tonight. I cast these teams all the time, whether it be the Canada Cup or Sivo, so it makes sense that I get to cover them in the Join Dota
Radiant
League
team
America
pick.
as well, which, is
Radiant
quite a
team
bit of words,
ban.
quite a mouthful, so maybe we'll just call it the JDL Americas. A little bit easier to say, but some more picks have come out. We've got Venomancer, very, very strong, annoying support. Not only is he great for pushing, he's great at defending pushes. So Venomancer, very annoying with
10
the slow,
seconds
hard push
remaining.
into, annoying, looks weird. He's no longer Bananamancer,
5
but that's been a
seconds
while.
remaining.
EHUG, though, with the second pickup on the Nature's Prophet, another hero that Cakes does like to take into
Dire
the off
team
lane.
ban.
Plays it well, makes Bulldog proud.
Radiant
As top
team
5, they go for the
ban.
Nyx Assassin, so going to have a nice Impale, which has the potential to stun multiple people in those big engagements. The Vendetta, of course, very useful for picking off Prophet or anybody else if Nyx gets a fast 6. Spike Carapace, and the
Dire
Mana
team
Burn,
ban.
which will do a lot of damage versus this Nature's Prophet. He is indeed an intelligence semi-carry or carry, depending on what you yourself consider Nature's Prophet to be. But the bans, we've got some more. Top 5, they take out the suddenly popular Naga Siren
10
once again,
seconds
whether it be
remaining.
carry, support, or even venturing into the mid lane. I guess we can all thank Miracle
5
for
seconds
that.
remaining.
Top 5 also takes out a very strong support in the Rubik, that instant lift, as well as being able to steal the powerful spells from Timber and the Nyx Assassin. They don't want to deal with it.
Radiant
They might
team
even want to pick
pick.
themselves up a Weaver or someone else pretty slippery that you don't want Rubik stealing that spell. And
Dire
on the other
team
side of things,
pick.
EHUG, they go for a very safe Dragon Knight pick, so it's very clear that EHUG wants to push, so top 5 better be grateful that they were able to pick up the Timbersaw, but EHUG, they ban out the Outworld, I don't even know what his name is anymore. They ban out OD as well as Invoker, two very powerful mid heroes, and of course Invoker. This is still 6.79, so Invoker very strong with the push, and the Forge Spirit still quite OP. Of course, those
10
are getting
seconds
tweaked a little
remaining.
bit in 6.8. Praise the Lord. Praise Ice Frog,
5
because
seconds
Forge
remaining.
Spirits were just a little too strong. But Invoker gets buffs in other areas, such as EMP and I think a couple other things. Ghost Walk speed is
Reserve
increased.
time.
It's like Ice Frog really wants people to go Wex, and I think that's fair, because Wex is the more exciting, I think, the more flashy, exciting side of Invoker, but it's not quite as powerful, so it's getting there as, Invoker slowly gets molded into another role, I guess, as the Wisp gets picked up. So not that common of a hero, especially in the Chinese scene, especially back in TI2 or after that. It wasn't very common. And top 5, yes,
Radiant
they
team
play in America,
pick.
but they are a group of Chinese students, I believe. At least a couple of them are. So I guess they maybe adopt the Chinese style. They're kind of innovators. They're the team I see They were one of the first teams I ever saw using the Clinks upon 6.79. Same with the Earthshaker creep rerouting. So top 5 is generally on top of those changes. And sometimes they pick some strange lineups. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell on 6.79 what a strange lineup really is anymore, which is fun. Definitely a fun thing about this patch, but it does make analyzing drafts just a little bit harder. As there we go, Enchantress. I'm a sheep sucks. His signature hero definitely does not suck at the Enchantress. So I find every time I cast PBS or now Team E-Hug, whenever they play Chen with I'm a Sheep on it, they lose. But every time they have Enchantress, they win. So that could be a sign of things to come here, but it's not going to be an easy game as the IO Tiny combination is online. So a Tiny hard carry is in the works, and if he's able to get up a couple big items along with Aghanim and Scepter, you can definitely cleave to win. And of course, I mean, TI3, if it didn't tell you enough, the powers of Wisp Tiny or Wisp Plus Building Destroyer, they definitely have the ability to backdoor or even base race the Nature's Prophet, which should be played by Cakes. Crystal Maiden and Pugnas get banned out, nothing too crazy about that, but top 5 respecting the pushing power. They take out the Pugna and, well, expecting, I guess, a Nyx Assassin off or mid lane. They ban out a support. They take out the Crystal Maiden. And I guess to talk a little bit about the teams, as some of you may not be as familiar with either E-Hug or top 5. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah, this game does not have an in-game ticket yet, by the way. That will be released tomorrow, which I believe is also the In Bloom patch. But the ticket comes out tomorrow. I'm not sure of the price, but it's definitely going to be worth your money. It's an 8-week season with playoffs, I believe. So there's going to be a lot of games to be had and get some items from, of course, your favorite players in either the Americas, the EU, or the China. I'm not sure if the tickets are all just one. I would imagine they'd be ticketed by region, because that seems like a good move by Join Dota to pick up some money. Why not? I would do it. As the Morana is the 5th pick, waiting on the 5th pick from top 5, but we'll skip on E-Hug. But for top 5, some of the players here, Shanks is generally the 5-role support here. I'm not sure who ZZZ is. Actually, I'm not sure who a couple of these people are. They might not be tagged up correctly, but Shanks is a support. Fly is generally their mid lane player, but recently he's switched the role up to more of the carry, or at least the safe lane farmer. But that's not to say he will not show up on the mid lane or the carry. They kind of bounce back and forth now depending on the hero pickups for what Fly is going to do. But he's definitely a skilled player, can be very aggressive, get things done. Wrong should be playing support alongside Shanks, and the other two I'm not sure of. So I'll stop there as we wait for their 5th pickup. It does look like it needs to be either another mid hero or another support, depending on how they want to run Nyx Assassin, whether it be mid support or off lane, or Timbersaw as well, going into the mid lane or the off lane. So we'll see here in a minute. They've got some reserve time. And hopefully the stream is all back up. Stream. Let's see. Yeah, we're back. That's nice. Good to have. Wow, okay, they're really thinking about this pick. I mean, they're going to have one heck of a game in front of them. Any pick-off that occurs, they've got the split push for Nature's Prophet just to go to another lane. Venomancer Dragonite is a very, very difficult combo to stop pushing in the late game because of the Plague Wards. They need to be focused down. Dragonite as well with his dragon, with the poison carrying over to that rank 2 red dragon with the cleave. Also very strong for clearing waves and pushing. Enchantress bringing in creep, or even turning into a semi-carry in her own right. So Team E-Hug, if this game goes late enough, they do have the potential to have a 4-core lineup, plus a Venomancer who just needs to basically get off Poison Nova and then die. And it's actually going to be Enigma as the 5th pick here for top 5. Going to be played by Shanks, so it looks like he's going to be jungling. Fly picks up the Timbersaw, so it could be mid, could be off lane, could be solo safe. Should be exciting, as it looks like the viewers have grown. So maybe to say one more time, the game does not yet, or the Join Dota League Americas, or any of them for that matter, do not have in-game tickets yet. Those should be coming tomorrow in the Dota patch, which should also be bringing, I believe, Terrorblade, as well as Phoenix, and potentially Shadow Fiend as Nevermore with a remodel. I don't know, a lot of things in the works over there at Valve.
You so really should prepare for battle.
About all of those, and I think you guys may either love me or hate me because my Dota client is in Korean right now. I keep forgetting about that, and I probably should change it, but you know, it's pretty awesome. and my dream is to cast Korean Dota. Maybe. We'll see how it develops. I'd like to help develop it. Anyway, here we are into the game. The first best of one in the best of two best of one series. It's just a 2-game series. That is how it rolls. Very, very European in fashion, as you might expect from Join Dota. But we've got Team eHug here, playing from their new gaming house in New York. They're on the dire. It's going to be Pandago supporting up hard on this Venomancer, as it looks like they're going to go get some intel rolling S4 into the enemy jungle. I'm a Sheep sucks on the Enchantress. We'll see which jungle he decides to stay in. Ryu Boru's in the mid lane on the Dragonite. Leading the charge down here, it's going to be the stand-in MSS Mojo Storm Stout on the Marana. And last but not least, it will be Cakes on his signature Nature's Prophet, taking up, I guess, either the off lane, maybe the solo safe lane. And top 5 on the Radiant. I was surprised when I checked out the Dota 2 lounge that top 5 were not very, or rather to say it easier, eHug was not extremely favored. It was like 57 to 43%. So a lot of faith people have in top 5. They're definitely a quality team as we introduce them. Shanks on the Enigma. We've got Tiny going to be played by ZZZ. Wrong. That might be Zan Zan Zan, which is normally tagged up in all Chinese characters, which usually means war, war, or fight, fight, fight. I believe. I don't know. If anyone is a top 5 fan, that might be information that is relevant to you. Otherwise, we'll call him ZZZ for tonight. We've got Teacher D here playing on the Wisp. Wrong on the Nyx Assassin with that Dagon cosmetic, which I also have. Very nice. And Fly. He's back into the mid lane. Haven't seen him there for a while. He will be playing the Timbersaw. And what's his matchup going to be? It will be, of course, against DK. So Ryu Boru's, of course, going to get Breathe Fire. Look to push out the lane, but Fly, he's a Timbersaw. He's a melee hero, the Whirling Death with the stat reduction. It should be, you know, a lane where both of these heroes can farm quite a bit, and it might be based on the rotations of the supports, which one will actually come out ahead in that lane, but both of them should have a pretty big impact as we see... Alright, you know, just 3-man jungling off the start. Who needs to go into the lane? As I'm a Sheep Sucks and Pandago causing a bit of a scene down here for Shanks, trying to take out some of his Eidolons as well as, you know, steal his experience from the jungle camps. And they back off as those Eidolons replicate, dishing out a little too much damage, but it looks like it is an aggressive I'm a Sheep Sucks jungle, you know, with MSS here on the Marana. Denied. Going up against the Tiny Wisp duo lane, of course, because Shanks is jungling on the Enigma. Up top, it leaves the match as Wrong on the Nyx Assassin, who should do okay here. Of course, the treants are still very broken. They don't take creep aggro, and that could be annoying for the Nyx Assassin, but of course, look at this. The highest regen, base regen in the game, 3.2. I'm surprised it took so long for Nyx Assassin to appear in the off lane, because it would appear that he was almost made for it with this regen, with Spike Carapace, Impale, a multiple person stun. He's not that easy to bring down, especially if he builds up a stout shield. If he wants, you can even turn it into a poor man's shield. But Cakes, not in much danger, should farm up. But on the flip side of things, Wrong going to get a fast level 6 on the Nyx and maybe, you know, have a pretty big impact this game. But it looks like it may be fairly slow, just a lot of farming going on. Nature's Prophet, he's level 3, soon to be 4. Could use some mana, but of course he can rotate down. Maybe not to the mid lane because Fly can just Whirling Death, or when he has it, just Timber Chain through the trees. Should be able to get out pretty easily, but here it could be the first rotation of the game. Pandago is going to scoop up on the 5-roll Venomancer, that invis from the bottom rune spawn. It looks like they're rolling over to try to get Fly. They do have the Harpy Stormcrafter, which can dish out a lot of damage, but with its low HP and only 10 seconds left, I don't think it's going to be able to do too much. But there's the Gale out onto Shanks. The Stormcrafter getting busy with that micro. There goes out the stun onto I'm a Sheep, but it's not going to be enough. The first blood is drawn. And nicely done. Here comes Timbersaw, though, trying to get some revenge. The heal goes out from I'm a Sheep. Just enough mana to do it as they try to get away. Poison Sting is skilled up, so of course, what is that slow at level 1? That 11% slow coming out onto Fly, but here comes the Malefice out once again onto I'm a Sheep Sucks, and he will be going down. So some retribution there, and that evens up the score 1-1. But the first blood going over to the Enchantress, and with 1,000 gold pooled, hasn't turned the Ring of Protection into a Bass. I'm a Sheep Sucks might be thinking about going for that Midas, and that reiterates the point made on the draft that he very well could become a 4th core for this team, picking up in early ags, but may want to just focus on getting an urn, getting involved, and potentially getting a mech as well for his team, because there's going to be a lot of magical damage on the side of top 5. The potential for the huge black hole, and since now we are on a joined Dota stream, I feel obligated to replicate Toby wants Black Hole, but that's not going to happen at all. I've tried once before and it was brutal. Checking out the farm though, Cakes, no surprise on the Nature's Prophet, leading the charts 21 and 11. In his lane, the Nyx Assassin at 9 and 2, not doing terrible, not doing great, but he's getting XP and that's all that really matters. The bottom lane to find MSS, 16 and 9 on the Mirana, 17 and 3 is Ryu Boru, who's in the mid lane on the DK, tied exactly with Fly, but Fly does have that one kill, so that's pretty nice, and some rune control, gonna find that illusion rune. The Eidolon's hard at work here for Shanks. He even goes to the mid lane to soak some XP because his jungle, you know, it wasn't perfect because of the aggression by the Venge, Venge? Where's she coming from? The Venomancer, as well as the Enchantress, were messing with Shanks in the early game. So, soak some levels, 4.5 at 4.5 minutes, pretty much exactly where you want to be. Although the jungle rotations are a little harder to do nowadays since they switched the camps. Now that this one is a medium, it's not quite as easy to get that perfect jungle rotation where you can get, I think you can get 6 by 4.5, maybe 6 by 5 minutes, and then your mechanism up by 10 minutes if you don't actually do anything besides one smoke gank using your Black Hole as soon as you get it at 6 and then back into the jungle. You can still do it, but I mean, teams expect it now, especially at this level of play. They're going to contest your jungle, which of course we saw I'm Sheep Sucks as well as Pandago doing. Let's see, the bottle is obviously already online. It's being crowed out right now, as well as a Belt of Shrink. So Ryu Boru is looking for some quick treads. Gonna bottle crow. Pretty expected there for the DK. Needs to continue to spam out the Breathe Fire to get the CS, harass that Timbersaw who, you know, with the reactive armor, some right clicks, even some creep hitting him, they're not going to do a whole lot. In the bot lane, though, some action, ZZZ in some trouble, but it's actually MSS who will drop, not able to get it. Pandago should be able to clean up the poor guy, but there's the the toss back. This Plague Ward, not quite microed, maybe slightly out of range, but they turn it around nicely, and they both live on, well, 8 HP, maybe even less than that on the Wisp, and below 100 at least on Tiny, but a nice toss, nice reaction by the Tether to draw that out, and you know, force Pandago to dive that tower a little bit. Suddenly top 5. They're out 2 kills ahead in this match in just 6 minutes.
Being subjected to extreme violence.
As Ryu Boru is in trouble in the mid lane, the Chakram was online. It was obviously just used, so a bit of a cooldown. Fly decides not to go for it. Timber Chain is only level 1, so a little bit less range on that. Maybe could have got Ryu. He does, of course, have Dragon Tail and Elder Dragon form, so fighting him under the tower maybe could have been a little risky. Also, those supports just died, so they might have been able to TP out of base into that mid tower, turn it around on Fly. He doesn't want that. He got lucky enough to get a pretty easy kill with an Enchantress running into him in the jungle, which is nice. Timbersaw probably feels good about that. Enchantress, I'm sure she really loves trees, so Timbersaw can't be all that keen. I'm not going to remember her name from Dota 1. What was it? It started with an I. Whatever. Can't be too chummy with the Enchantress, that's for sure. Wisp, important levels. Wisp is level 4.5, maybe more than that, definitely more than that. I'm better at fractions than that. Almost level 5 here on the Wisp, so of course when the 6 gets online, the buddy system all day, even though it's already been the buddy system all game for this IO and this Tiny, as they look to maybe be getting aggressive. The spirits go out, but will not be used. I'm a Sheep Sucks, also just level 4. Not even 4.5. He also wants to get 6. Pretty key level for the Impetus online. Tons of damage. Wrong. He is level 7 right now, so trying to keep down the Nature's Prophet just a little bit, but, you know, 40 and 21 for Cakes. So he's farming well. Pretty much unobstructed here by Wrong, who is only 17 and 5, but it's enough to get Boots of Speed, a bottle, maybe Mana Boots even pretty soon, and that's enough for him to cause a lot of havoc. But here comes Shanks, looking to get that Malefice off. TP's, though, an immediate response. This is actually Ryu Boru coming in from the mid lane, so that opens up Timbersaw to really, I guess, try to push the tower, get, you know, free farm in the mid lane, or if he wants, he can also rotate up top. But the stun goes out, the ultimate as well coming in from Cakes, but there is the Vendetta that is used by the Nyx Assassin. He might even try to get the kill. Cakes is going to salve up. He realizes he could be in a bit of trouble. Wrong, though, no mana to impale afterwards. Realizes he can't do it, so he's going to count his blessings and just go ahead and get out of there. Shanks might want to be careful. It could be a stun, but kills in the bottom lane go out. Shanks in trouble up top, but let's go to bottom. TP's coming in. Pandago in a bit of trouble. The Chakram coming out. There should be enough damage. There's a double damage rune as well. Doesn't need to attack as we just get top in time to see Shanks go down. So there was a kill in the bot lane before we got there. It was the Mirana. So MSS goes down once more, 0-2 and 1.
Under attack.
But it's not all bad. At least Ryu, Boris, and Cakes, they pick up a kill and assist up top. And, well, I thought they could maybe get the tower, but they're not going to quite have the pushing power. Ryu, no charges on the bottle. So a little low on HP, and with a Wisp, potentially level 6, maybe they don't
Radiant's
know.
top tower is under attack.
No, they're not too worried about it. They will force out the Glyph of
Radiant's
Fortification,
structures
although I don't think
unfortified.
they're going to be able to get this top tower at, what is it, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. You think maybe the DK would have taken a tower already, but it is pretty hard to push into a Timbersaw, especially this early.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, and thank you everyone for joining here on stream. I see almost 400 of you. Pretty good amount for a game that isn't on the ticket. And if you are watching in-game somehow, I guess that's kind of useless. Actually, hold that thought. Wrong up top. Stunning up Cakes near the tower. Here comes ZZZ on the Tiny to pick up an easy kill. He's going to go 2-0 and 2 off of that one. Feeling good about himself. And at 9.5 minutes, we'll be switching over to the net worth relatively soon. So you guys on stream don't get too upset. Shanks, where are you at? Level 5, 1 more XP to get that big 6 with the black hole. The Eidolons run out, but there it is, level 6. Apparently, the Ogre gives 41 XP. The more you know. He is level 6, and with that black hole online, a Sentry in his inventory as well, they look to be pushing the mid lane. Also, bottom though, we've got, you know, Skeletal Warriors, we've got the Harpy Stormcrafter, I'm a Sheep Sucks, and Ryu Boars. We'll get the bottom tier 1, but MSS lands the arrow, the Starfall hitting twice, and that's a rank 4 Starfall, so that is 525 damage before mitigation if you find one target, which unfortunately it was the Wisp / Io. You might notice I'm not entirely consistent on what I call that creature. It's tough. Wisp is like easier to say. That's all I'm gonna say. One syllable, longer word, but one syllable.
Under attack.
Can't be that logic. Ryu Boars though in the mid lane could be in a bit of trouble. Fly himself has that Invis rune, looking to get him out. There's the black hole, which I think at this point is definitely worth it just to use to kill one hero. Why not? It is a fairly long cooldown at 200 seconds, probably the longest in the game, if not one of the longest in the game. As Wrong coming in, not a lot of mana, despite having mana boots and a bottle, but Vendetta up, Invis on fly. They really want Ryu Boars, or at least El Gato. He could be in a bit of trouble. Yeah, I think Wrong. Vendetta should get into one. Yep, that's the courier down, but back to the mid lane. Ryu Boars has been gone on arrow from MSS. Will hit a creep. Ryu, though, pretty tanky with 4 points, but there's the black hole onto 2 of them. Ryu Boars will actually drop Fly over into the tower, Timber chaining like a madman, but Cakes TP's in on the backside. Actually, I'm a Sheep with the Hadoken from the Satyr, gonna get him. Impetus out onto Wrong, and they get him. Nice turnaround here by Ehug, 2 for 2 so far, but the Wisp will fall. It's a triple kill for I'm a Sheep, and well, that's basically the mechanism finish and the start of a point booster to work towards that Ag, and it's I'm a Sheep's Enchantress that finally turns this game around, gives Ehug some momentum. Sure, they were getting some towers, they were almost even in kills, but had to feel on the back foot slightly in this game going up against top 5. Now that we are at about 12 minutes, looks like this is going to be the second tier 1 tower of the game to fall. Bottom is gone, but the TP's come in to defend it. Shanks with the Eidolons. The tower, can they deny it? They don't. Cakes gets the last hit, and there's the Midas. He couldn't resist, but FaZe, Bass, and a 12-minute Midas. That's really good timing right there for Cakes. Bulldog would be proud, as looking at the graphs overall, we see about a 3,000, maybe even 4,000 advantage here for Ehug. XP, however, a little less grouping on their part, because they're not grouping up pushing these towers, so they lead in XP by a little bit, 500. It's not too much, and I realize the Dr. Kleiner announcer could be a bit annoying on stream, but I have a feeling most of you will like it more than the Korean announcer, so we're going to roll with that. But to the net worth charts we go.
Tower is under attack.
It's Cakes. Not a big surprise after we just went over his pickups at 12 minutes. Cakes leading the chart at 5,700. Fly not too far behind at 5,300. 2.4 in the bank right now. We'll see what his next item is if he wants to go for that fairly standard Bloodstone Rush, or maybe something a little more unorthodox like a Yule's first. Maybe even a Blink Dagger. I don't know how I feel about that at all, but you know, they're possibilities. Likely it will just be the Bloodstone. Continuing with the net worth, though, we've got Ryu Boars at 4.9k on the Dragonite. I'm a Sheep Sucks after that triple kill, finishes the mech here at 13 minutes, along with Shreds, and of course the Bass. 4.5k for him. Tiny not doing quite as well, but it was, you know, he was aggroed into with a Venomancer, with a Mirana, and, you know, a pretty annoying jungling I'm a Sheep Sucks Enchantress. So he's sitting at 4.1. He's 2-0-2, so yet to die. He's seen some action still, and he's at 4.1k. MSS, not so lucky. 1-3-1. The only kill coming from the pickoff on Teacher D's Wisp. 4.1k net worth for him, and that's about all the core heroes. You can see them all there anyways. Another push being mounted here. Let's see, level 9 for Dragonite. Of course he wants, about one more to get to level 11. And get that rank 2 Dragon Form. And maybe look to fight up. He's going for the BKB. He's got the Ogre Club, and the bottom tier 2 tower, top 5, they're just going to let it fall. They're too scared to defend it versus this lineup, and maybe even trying to make the trade. Sure, the tier 2 tower is a tier 2, but the mid tier 1 gives a lot of positional advantage for the Dire, as Pandego will survive that. He even gets his ultimate out on Wrong. Nature's Wrath going to go off from Cake, so Wrong trying to TP out, but it doesn't matter. He will go down. Probably would have gone down even if he made it back to the base. That Poison Nova does quite a bit. Luckily for top 5, well, they don't actually get the tower, so the tower is still alive. It's not in deny range, so we'll say they're a little lucky for that, but the Wisp, as well as the Enigma, will live through that engagement. Very nicely done. Up top, Fly could be in a bit of trouble. Here comes DK as well as Cakes on the prowl once again. They're going to go ahead and back off. Worried about some potential counter initiation, even though there was none. I'd say a pretty safe play because, Wisp tiny. Oh, Wisp is not level 6 yet at almost 15 minutes. Maybe a little too safe by eHug. I think they could have capitalized on that a little bit more, taken out Fly, the top net worth hero, and wow, if they drop Fly off of this, they are completely dominating the net worth with 4 out of 5 of their heroes. Only Venomancer, the Pandego 5 roll down there at the bottom for them. And the gold graph, it's pretty steep at just 15 minutes. 7.5k advantage for eHug. I suppose this is the result that most of us did expect in this matchup, but I'm always excited to cast top 5. They're a very fun team. And I should note, they actually are. If any of you know me, you realize that I cast Sivo a lot. Twitch.tv/PlaySivo1. Top 5 are in the finals, going up against the Peruvians Union Gaming. That's on January 30th, so stay tuned for some more info on that, where you can watch it and hopefully watch me cast one more time. But top 5 will be playing in that. That's first place $750, second place $250, so that'll be pretty nice. And of course, Season 4 registration just opened, so if you want to sign up, registration is open at Sivo.com. 5k prize pool. It's on different nights than the Join Dota League, so it works out perfectly. Play the Join Dota League, play Sivo, play the new MLG League. You can do it all. You too can be a Dota pro and single-handedly save the North American Dota scene. As we see, the Roche, it goes down very quickly. That will change soon as well. 6.8. That seems so weird. 6.8. Just one syllable. 6.79 to 6. I guess we can say 8.0. But bring us some changes to the Roshan. Going to scale a little bit quicker, as well as continue to scale past the 45-minute mark. So some of these maybe cheesy armor reduction, Roche killing strategies will go by the wayside. Of course, they fixed the Rasta Ward interaction as well. But oh, I thought that was a relocate. No, Ryuboru's coming into the fray. Tiny continuing to farm. Has an Ogre Club with the phase and the drums. At this point, he might just be going for a BKB. Maybe he got the Ogre Club because it's easy to buy at base. Would expect him to still want to get the Ags. Yeah, he is. Picks up the Staff of Wizardry next. So still going for the Ags first. Shanks, meanwhile, in the top lane on this Enigma, trying to get some push going on, but I think eHug's going to be content to just take down another mid-tier 2 tower. Looking at Shanks' items, he does have a mechanism, so that's great for the team fight, but no Blink Dagger initiation for himself to catch out the very strong push of eHug.
Being attacked like nobody's business.
And I don't know what you do against this lineup. I mean, they have Timbersaw, he's great at stopping push. Maybe they could have got themselves the Venomancer instead of this Enigma or Nyx Assassin to help stop the push even a little bit more, but it's really hard, and I think the better answer is to start banning certain heroes. Like, if you see Venomancer, you might have to ban DK, or vice versa. If DK gets picked up, ban Venomancer. Maybe you're more scared of other heroes, but I think stopping some of these lineups, like the Venomancer, like the DK that we see, which I don't have a stats man, but I'd imagine it's a pretty high win rate right now. Same thing with Death Prophet and maybe Pugna combined with that, or Death Prophet DK. Just some of these pushing lineups are so hard. But here comes the first relocate I've noticed of the entire game, and it's on Pandego. It results in a kill. MSS also throwing out the Moonlight Shadows, as I'm a Sheep Sucks, not quite wanting to engage. Wisp of them are about to disappear. The Avalanche will miss on Cakes, and I think they're going to try to sprout up Wrong. Does he have that Vendetta online? He does not. So yeah, Cakes, the drum charge even used here. Nighttime Vision, a bit of a mistake, but it doesn't matter. The Impale, Wrong doing everything he can to live, but it's not going to matter. Cakes was in treant Micro, locking him up. And they'll take him down. That evens up the kill 9-9, but the game itself, anything but even with the tower advantage that E-Hug has here at just 18 minutes. 7.5k gold. It's leveled off a little bit over the last 5 minutes, but it's still going to be a long road back for top 5. And the XP, it's about at equilibrium. Quite a bit of grouping from E-Hug, as we might expect with their lineup, trying to push, and this is actually the last outer tier 2 tower that they need to bring down, as MSS, the stand-in here on the Mirana, was given the Aegis of the Immortal from that Roche kill. Searching with the arrow, won't land on anybody. And the last tier 2 tower will drop without much of a fight.
Is under attack. Radiant's top tower has
Right, just
fallen.
gonna TP out, going bot lane to help defend that. They're gonna stun up Tiny. Pandago's there as well to apply the slow. Has the Poison Nova if he needs it. Could at least apply the medallion. There it goes onto the Tiny. Tiny will go down without much of a fight. Wisp wasn't there to protect him. Up top, actually, Shank's gonna get caught out in a Sprout. And this is a game where maybe you want to be holding on to some Tangos or even a Quelling Blade to try to get out of that. But Cakes with another good Sprout. It also lines up the arrow, which is nice, and puts you in a tree. Circle of trees, very obvious, but it sets you up also for Impetus just to be thrown on you. And that's going to do a lot of damage here from I'm a Sheep, who has the point booster and is about another 1,500 gold away from actually finishing up the entire Aghanim Scepter. Looking over to Fly, though, still doing very, very well. Second in net worth. Cakes at 10.1 on the NP, and Fly on the Timber at 9.6. So he's got that Bloodstone. He finishes the Boots of Travel as well to at least try to keep a lane equilibrium. Doesn't want to really feed himself as a pickoff because the Bloodstone charges are pretty precious for him right now, but the Boots of Travel should maybe thwart the lane control that the Nature's Prophet is giving E-Hug a little bit, as Ryuboru's waiting pretty aggressively in the mid lane. Someone, maybe a support, going to overstep their bounds pretty soon. And Wisp wants to ult once more. It's actually on cooldown, so maybe they used it without me noticing. Alright, mid lane. TP's coming in to defend, expecting the push here. MSS has, actually checking out the Roche pit, MSS has about 10 seconds, no, a minute, about a minute left on that Aegis, so if they want to put it to use, now is the time. We find Nature's Prophet top, not a big deal, he can just TP. Pushing out the bot lane, Tiny and Wisp, no surprise there, looking to backdoor as much as possible. There's the notification, Aegis being reclaimed. Kicks into the mid lane, looking at the buyback status for top 5. Could come into consideration here pretty soon. There's not a lot of them. Fly, of course, has one, but it looks like it's more important too by Michael bringing out. Nice ultimate there by Fly, but it's not going to be enough. Shanks is going to go down before he can black hole. No chance. The heal from I'm a Sheep sucks on the back of this fight, as the tier 3 tower can continue to be pressured. The glyph of fortification being thrown out. The chakram, oh so hard to push into unless you've got DK, Venomancer, and have taken every outer tower. Find yourselves 10,000 gold ahead, and without much contention, the mid tier 3 tower will drop. Soon working on the racks. MSS might want to just go ham right here and drop. He's got the Aegis. Relocate from behind. A nice 3-man impale from Wrong, but the Poison Nova goes off before Pandago drops, so there's going to be a lot of damage overall. Ryuboru's with the BKB just manhandling the Tiny right now. Going to throw out the stun, and he will be able to clean him up. And Aegis, he's still, just go die, MSS. Aegis is reclaimed now in 1 second. I guess he doesn't know the exact time, so he's a little more worried about it. Actually checking out Ryuboru. He's trying to kill some more. Are they going to throw the BKB here from Shanks? He throws the mech. Will he BKB? Doesn't find that he needs it, but Ryuboru's will go down. Another TP coming here from Timbersaw. The buyback to the Boots of Travel forward, trying to catch some people out. 6 Bloodstone charges now, looking to get that back to 8 as quick as possible. Arrow shot out will cancel the Timber Chain and ensure the escape. Even the Orchid is going to be thrown. Sprout to block the path, and the Silenced Timbersaw can't get through those trees. That's literally Timbersaw's worst nightmare. Nature's Prophet with an Orchid. That might be my worst nightmare as well. Smoke even coming out from E-Hug, so they're not giving up the aggression. They're able to take out that mid-tier 3 tower. They force, what is it, just 1, 2 buybacks. Wisp also bought back. Timbersaw bought back. Tiny bought back. I cannot count. 3 buybacks forced out there by E-Hug. So top 5, not only are they now at a more than 10k gold advantage, but forcing those 3 buybacks is going to delay any new items coming out anytime soon, which is going to make it a long road back. Checking out the items overall, the Aghanims has been finished here for the Tiny. We've got Wrong maybe going for a 4-staff with the Staff of Wizardry. It could be a Necro book, could be a Dagon as well. 4-staff, maybe the smartest option. Necro wouldn't be terrible. Wisp earned mana boots, nothing too much to speak of there. Timbersaw as well. Luckily he didn't die again, so still holding on to the 6 Bloodstone charges. Now with the Void Stone, so we'll be transferring into that Sheepstick pretty soon. As any other big item to speak of, the Manta's out online for MSS. I think Pandago's going for an Ags or a 4-staff of his own with his Staff of Wizardry. The Paradrums, the Mech, the BKB on Ryu we knew about, and of course the Orchid that got picked up by Cakes. And enough of items, there's that team fight. The Arrow to be off the mark by MSS. The 2-man Impale by the Nyx Assassin. I don't even know where that came from. Oh, the other side of the trees. He will TP out. Wisp will go down. Cakes with the Wrath of Nature, TP in. Didn't even use the Orchid there. He's got a Necro too. They've never even used the Necro 1. It's still just sitting in the stash, so that'll make their team fight that much stronger. The push that much stronger upon getting that item completed. And it looks like they very well may just group up 5 in the mid again and try to push down this middle racks. Oh, MSS finds himself in a bit of trouble, leaps away, dodges the Impale. The Necro book has been delivered, or Cakes probably just went and got it himself. MSS though still alive, has the DD. Could the Manta here as well. I don't know if that takes off your positive buffs like DD though. The things I don't know, and I still cast Dota. Fly in a bit of trouble. He will escape though. Impetus going back out onto the Tiny, showing how squishy he really is. That's a support. Bring 2 shots, take him down to about half HP. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Ryu Boris already used Dragon Tail. They won't need it again. Shanks goes down. And of course, well, is there a buyback? There is a buyback. So maybe the buyback into the black hole could be what top 5 needs to turn this around. But it looks like anything at this point might just be too little too late, as the Glyph of Fortification on cooldown for another minute and 15 seconds, as I think E-Hug is looking to get Magus off this push. Assuming they can stay focused. BKB thrown out, going on to the Tiny. Gale going to be off the mark from Pandago, but he just really needs to learn to land the Poison Nova, which he does, gets it on 2 important targets. Pandago goes down, he's done his deed. Wrong getting focused down by Ryu Borus right now, who has already BKB'd, and well, E-Hug brings reveal, so the Vendetta is not going to be enough to save the Nyx Assassin. TPing very, very aggressively here. Cakes gets the Wisp. Ryu Borus. Actually, the Venomancer picks up the Tiny. That's 5 heroes down. 24-13 in the score, and gotta expect the GG coming out here pretty soon from Shanks and his crew.
Are under attack.
Middle racks will drop completely, bottom now being the focus. There's the GG from Shanks, throws it out there, and a nice game 1. I thought top 5. They did very well, some good rotations early to have a small lead in kills, but what are you going to do against this death push? And I think the only answer is to, well, be extremely, extremely aggressive in the early game with strong support rotations. The Wisp Tiny, especially when it's shut down, kind of like it was. Wisp didn't hit 6 until minute 15. And you can be aggressive at 15 minutes, but at that point, E-Hug doesn't really care. They're just going to 5-mana push down your towers with the lineup that they drafted. So early aggression, or at least equal scary teamfight and pushing power after the fact. I think those are the 2 answers, and 6.79, as we know, does seem to come down to the drafts quite often. And I guess we've got a decent amount of viewers over here on twitch.tv/joindotacommunity, so do make sure to follow, and if you're into following, head over to Twitter. You can follow me at HeliUmbrella. I'd love to have you. I cast a ton of North American Dota, whether it be CEVO, the Dota 2 Canada Cup, any other small tournaments I could find my hands on, and now hopefully the Join Dota League Season 1, and maybe the MLG Join Dota stuff. I don't really know. Hopefully a bright future lies ahead, but Game 2 coming up pretty soon, so stick around.